This nibble originally aired on RSBANDB Update, episode 900, Priff and Present. Enjoy. Max is still an accomplishment, I feel, today. It's much more common, though.
Oh, of course.
And
Yes.
I think now, Max Guild, before Warriors Retreat, acted as the PVM hub with its singular PVM portal. And one of the things that people wanted following Warriors Retreat was a question of, does the Max Guild need something else? And, I still think that's a very pertinent question today. Does the Max Guild need something else?
Should it have a permanent portable skilling station in the corner?
That could be used for any of the...
An invention workbench would be nice.
Invention workbench, construction, like any of those kind of workstations could potentially be good, just to have something really close to a bank. But the other thing was, and I agree with the argument for this, is that you're locking the thing that they said about the Max Guild that they disliked was that it, and the Max Cape, and they said this all during the Cape rework, they disliked that it locked some content behind unrelated content.
Right.
It wasn't that you achieved 99 and then suddenly you had the best access to things, right? The Warriors Guild was you got into this and then you got access to this combat training stuff, and that made sense. And the Max Guild, you maxed and you got all these perks, and I don't want the closest anvil in the game to a bank to be in the Max Guild. I don't want the closest, it almost irks me that the bonfire is there, and if braziers didn't exist and portable, if the portables didn't exist, I would actually probably still take issue with that bonfire in the Max Guild being there,
right,
because it locks cooking training method behind, 99 Slayer.
Right, and
all of these other things.
And in many ways, that doesn't fit with what the game does presently, because with Warriors Retreat, with the Comp Cape update, there has been that decoupling of all these achievements from all of them together. Right. And the Max Guild is a relic from the era where those were all brought together in one big glob. And so the question is, what do you do with the Max Guild?
I am all for the Max Guild giving you bonuses, but if they're skill-specific bonuses, I feel like that's put those bonuses locked behind 99 in the appropriate guild, right? Put the closest smithing anvil to a bank in the Artisan's Workshop. Put the closest and say, this is the 99. You have to have a cape 10 to this area. Do the same thing with crafting in the crafting guild. Put a really close bank to a furnace or something, right? I don't know.
I think we have that for the most part, but what we got to keep in mind with Max Guild is the training that is there, the bonfire, for example. Mm-hmm. This isn't 99 training, right? You have to be max to get there. This is 120 training.
That's true.
Which is, that's a different animal. For me, it's still super valuable because that's the Grand Exchange I use.
Right.
It's
no,
quick,
I mean, me too. Me too.
It's that's the one the Grand Exchange.
And it is a bonus to being maxed, and that seems like a fair bonus. You've completed all of your skilling. Now you get a Grand Exchange that is, in essence, 3 squares, literally 1.2 seconds closer to a teleport location, right?
Yeah.
And you can teleport to that while in combat. Woo! As opposed to not being able to teleport to a lodestone to the Tower of Voices if you're in combat. It's the congratulations, welcome to the next stage of the game. But
so you guys then don't necessarily view it as a replacement central hub, because you're going to go to different hubs along your adventure.
I mean, it is my hub. Okay. It is the place that I go to.
What do you use more? What would you use more than that or Warriors Retreat?
I use Warriors Retreat only if I'm PVMing. If I'm needing to go to the Grand Exchange or just to use a bank, I teleport to Max.
Yeah, and this isn't I'm sure no one else really does this, but I still use the combat portal in the Max.
The combat portal in Max is a great Croesus portal, in my opinion, because you don't have to have adrenaline when you go through into Croesus. You don't have to have I keep Croesus there. And occasionally God Wars 2 stuff if I just want an extra.
It's also
one.
a good portal if you haven't killed the boss yet, because you can portal those ones with that.
And I'm not doing anything.
I forgot about that.
Super high level where I have to, got to have the adrenaline. I've got to have that. I mean, I'm doing God Wars 1 and 2 stuff.
Tannis shows up in his curriculum and is like, I don't need that adrenaline. What you talking about, Willis? I'm golden.
I mean, none of that. I mean, is he in Legacy? Yeah, he's in Legacy.
God bless. Look at the way that man's holding his two-handed sword. That man is a Chad.
See, I came into this thinking that, you know, the discussions that were had about the Max Guild after Wars Retreat came out would have meant that we needed some changes, some key changes to the Max Guild for this. But based on what you guys are saying, it sounds like the way you guys view the Max Guild is that it's still very usable for how it was initially intended, specifically for that 99 and beyond area in Tannis's case.
And I had that fear, right? Like when Wars Retreat came out, I definitely had that fear. I'm like, oh no, we need more now.
Right. It is a similarly close bank chest.
Well, remember Mod Raven?
It doesn't have the GE.
Mod Raven was scouting for ideas of what could be done to improve the Max Guild, and that project never came out. So what I'm betting is that the design brains inside Jagex came to the same conclusion, is that it's really not needed.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. You know, it's one of those things where you kind of put the cart before the horse. You get a little bit worried, like, oh, it's going to make Max Guild good content, but it couldn't. It didn't.
No. I mean, until they make a Grand Exchange that you literally teleport into a Grand Exchange booth,
please
you can't kill Max Guild. Like, there's no reason. There's no way. Yeah. Max Guild will always have prestige. You will always be able to go there and find your maxed friends because they will be doing the same thing.
Can you imagine the prestige that's going to be around this for the first person to enter Max Guild on Fresh Start Worlds?
Oh yeah, man. I can imagine one golden halo in their name.
Exactly.
Remember,
I
there's high scores.
I think
somebody will get max in the first 8 weeks, like without any kind of a question.
Yeah.
I think my bet is 5 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, but you just came up with a wonderful idea. Remote. What's the remote farming spell? But this would be remote Grand Exchange. We'll call it Amazon.
Oh no! 2-day delivery.
This is 2-day delivery Amazon for RuneScape.
And then the little bird flies in with your GE offer.
Oh no! I do not approve of this suggestion.
You can find full episodes of RSBANDB Update right here on this YouTube channel. If you found this video useful or just enjoyed it, like and subscribe, or leave a comment.